Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm John Knutson, often known as the grain of sand in the swimsuit of humanity, but tonight I'll be your MC for the 32nd annual Hot Air Affair segment, which we will be bringing in several guests to talk about the event. It isn't a normal hot air affair. After 31 years of normal hot air affairs, COVID has intervened, and we've got a little story behind each segment here with each of the people that'll tell you what we're going to do this year that's going to try to bring as much normalcy to hot air affair as we can and bring you the content that should be fun and exciting. So in 1990, the hot air affair started. There were 5 individuals that started the event. Evie Nurbin, Carla Timmerman, Linda White, Rose Akins. Rose was our first balloon pilot, making the whole event possible. And then I'm trying to remember who the 5th one was. It was Brad Pitt. I think it was Brad Pitt. So 32 years into this, we have a panel of guests who will bring information about the event to you. So what we're going to do right now is introduce each of those guests, and we would like to get your name, if we can, and what your current position is and what your past history with the event is. Let's start with Michelle.
I am Michelle Webb. I am the current president of the Hot Air Fair. My past history has been with my mom being one of the founders of it. I've kind of grown up with it. So I've helped out from a wee little gal all the way up until more recently, where I joined the community doing more merchandise and those types of items. And now I'm helping Evie and all the other committee members run the show.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Next up, we're going to have our one of our longest tenured people, Miss Carla Timmerman.
Hi, John. Carla Timmerman. I was one of those people that helped start the event and continue to work with it. I am continuing to be the treasurer and one of the directors of the event.
Very good. And our last panelist for today is going to be Ruth, better known as Roofie Peterson. And Ruth, let's give us your bit.
I'm the logistics coordinator for the event. In the past years, it's been the parade, the moon glow, the field of fire, the launch field facility, working with the school. And this year being a whole new ball game, it's different, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're figuring it out. And I've been involved for over 25 years as my sister is one of the founders of Hot Air Fair. And I moved back here from a different state, and I've been involved ever since.
I wondered if you were going to acknowledge that you were Evie's smarter and better looking sister. I just didn't know if you were going to do that or not.
Well, thank you, John.
All right, now we're going to get into a little more in-depth questions, and we'll take one at a time. And being that Michelle is the president of the organization, now we're going to start with Michelle. Michelle, can you tell us why the event is happening this year, given the circumstances with COVID, and also maybe some of the background and planning for the 2021 Hot Air Affair?
Yes, of course. Well, our biggest thing is last year was such a huge hit, and we just kept going back to, we've been doing this for over 30 years. We can't stop now. We need to keep going. So it was a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of Zoom meetings on what can we do and how can we still make this event fun and spectacular, but keep everybody safe at the same time. So we just, as a committee, felt that we needed to bring some fun to 2021, hence our theme this year. So that's why we just plugged forward and started getting really creative on how we could bring certain events to town.
Well, it is, I think it's the preeminent event in the city of Hudson, and for an event to continue for 32 years is pretty spectacular. Michelle, another question. What events will be held this year, and which ones are on pause for 2021?
Well, the ones that we are holding this year, we're going to do some pop-up balloon launches. We will do a drive-through balloon glow or candlestick Glow. We are also doing a couple food vendor trucks along with a food drive, food donation, and a virtual 5K run or walk, also a fat bike race, cornhole tournaments, and then we have a couple other smaller events going on. The Octagon House Museum is going to be doing tours of the Octagon House, plus your own self-guided walking tour throughout Hudson. We also are doing a little fun promotion starting now with all the local Hudson businesses that wanted to participate, called Eat, Shop, and Play. And so that's just promoting Hudson, going down into Hudson, checking out all the businesses, the restaurants, and then also downtown at Lakefront Park, checking out Buena Vista, the lights up in the park.
Well, I've been absolutely amazed at seeing the brochures, and they are out now. And you can go online also to www.hudsonhotairaffair.com and get a list of all the events and the activities as they'll be presented this year. So thank you for that, Michelle. One question I think a lot of people are wondering is what safety protocols are in place for the guest pilots coming into town?
So what we are just doing is we're following all the local CDC, state, and local guidelines for health. The big ones we're really going by is if you're not feeling well, stay home. If you have any COVID symptoms, washing your hands, using hand sanitizer when necessary, covering your face mask while you're in public, or keeping a physical distance of 6 feet apart. And then just cleaning and disinfecting any areas. But a lot of our stuff that we're doing is not going to be very face-to-face. So we're quite confident that we can still do this and be safe while we're doing it.
Well, thank you. I know you and the committee have been working hard to answer all those questions about how can this be pulled off safely. And one of the main things is, unfortunately, there are not going to be thousands of people at the balloon launches. And so that's something we gotta work around. Michelle, one fun thing that I saw that was added this year, if you could tell us a little bit about the food trucks and the food drive for the Hudson Food Shelf.
Yes, over in the old Family Fresh parking lot, we are going to have MSP pretzels along with Two Rivers Kettle Corn, which are two food vendors that come to our event throughout the years. So they're going to have their food trucks set up at the Family Fresh parking lot along with a food drive. So we are partnering with the Hudson Food Shelf and collecting food donations with them to give back to the community.
Okay, very good. Other than live in-person events, again, if you could just recap a couple of the events, the bike race, cornhole tournament, what are those other special events happening?
So a lot of our virtual events, since we are unable to do the parade this year, we will be doing a virtual parade. So that is just going to be a recap of previous parades that will be aired on Friday, February 5th. We are also going to be doing some other virtual videos that will be coming out throughout the weekend. One of them is going to be the Charlie Market Painters and the Sky videos. So seeing all those beautiful balloons. And then we also did a pilot roundtable with Dave and Sue Johnson, who are balloon artists. And they kind of talk about how they got into hot air ballooning and just how it evolved with their family. We do have a fun kids program that will be airing. So we're going to have our educational booklet that will go up, along with a fun video talking about weather and how hot air balloons fly, that kind of stuff.
Well, one thing we're going to do too, instead of the infamous smooshboarding event at 1 o'clock on Saturday too, that's going to be a virtual video montage. And I'd be remiss if we didn't take just a minute here and stop and thank Nate Skoog from the River Channel for all the work he's done, including coordinating this event that we're holding here now, the Western Wisconsin Journal. So on behalf of all of us with Hot Air Affair, thank you, Nate Skoog.
John, can I mention too that in the brochure we also have the candlelight skiing and some of the pre-events that we've had in in the past. So Michelle, do you want to mention some of those? With the online photo and video pet costume contest with Angel, that's starting. The Phipps is doing something. The virtual run will be starting soon. We'll be doing a fundraiser next week, in a couple weeks. So there's some pre-events too that are listed in the brochure and on the website.
Next up, we've got a few questions for one of the founders, Carla Timmerman. Carla, can you tell us the main emphasis, obviously the Hot Air Fair, is the balloons. Can you tell us what the balloon events will look like this year?
They will be very different from what you've seen in the past. There will not be the mass ascension at EP Rock School as we have had in the past. When we were starting to look as to how we could do this event, there's a balloon rally down in St. Louis, Missouri that did the pivot this year. And we started following them. And what they did was pop-up balloon launches. So that's what we'll be having this year. There'll be different sites throughout the city, the Hudson area, where the balloonists will be going out at 8 a.m. on Saturday or Sunday morning, and will be inflating and flying from there. The unfortunate part about COVID-19 is that we're not going to be able to have the events where the people can come and see the balloons, but they'll be able to be ready to step outside and look up in the air and see balloons flying over their homes.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I think people will be able to see the balloons. Are just trying to avoid the mass gatherings for safety. So
That's correct. Yep.
Carla, are there any more safety protocols that you can mention regarding the pilots coming to town and what we're doing to try to keep them safe and healthy as well?
Yes, there's some events that we do with the pilots that will not be happening this year. We typically do a Friday night reception welcoming the pilots to Hudson, and that will not be taking place this year. We also have done a pilot brunch on Sunday morning, seeing them off. And again, just because of the large gathering, those two things will not be taking place. Pilot check-in will be handled differently. And before each flight, the pilots have a briefing where they're given the weather information so they can determine whether it's safe flying weather. And those will be held either by Zoom or outside in person. So that lots of things will be changed. We're again asking them, we capped the balloons at 20 this year so that we won't have as many people, as many balloons, just trying to limit contact and keep everyone safe so we can come back next year in person and have a great event.
One question I've had from a number of my friends is they've asked, will I be able to approach the pilots and talk to them at either the launch or the glow? What would be the committee's response to that?
Unfortunately, no, they will not be able to. But with the virtual programming that we have, I think a lot of the questions that the people ask the pilots will be answered. You know, on Friday, 1 p.m., the virtual video of Dave and Sue Johnson, the balloon artists, will be taking place. At 3 p.m., Charlie Markard, who does the painting of balloons, that video will be shown. Saturday afternoon, we'll be doing the summer ballooning, and which will be honoring Don Picard, who is one of the early balloonists starting the sport of ballooning. So there'll be lots of history of the ballooning available there. And then again on Sunday afternoon will be the virtual roundtable. So watching all of those shows, a lot of the questions that people will have will be answered, we hope. Otherwise, they can come next year.
Well, good. Right. Well, thank you. Another big thing for Hot Air Affair, and a lot of us have a lot of merchandise from buttons to cups to, and behind Michelle, you can see paintings and Ruth has photos. What merchandise might be available this year, Carla?
This year, we will be doing face masks. And there'll be a limited number that will be available next weekend on our website. So if you keep watching our website, they'll be posted. We're not having any merchandise booth, again, to eliminate any large gathering. They will be available on our website, and then they will be mailed to the individuals.
Okay. And again, Carla, just to confirm, all of the virtual videos that we're talking about will be on the HudsonHotAirAffair.com website as well, correct?
Correct. The links to them will be on that, yes.
Okay. So, and we've talked a little bit about some of the videos. The Charlie Marquardt, as a graphic artist myself, I was really intrigued by the Charlie Marquardt piece, because if you see his balloons that he painted, they are, set up to 7 stories tall. And same with Dave and Sue Johnson with the Montgolfier, one of the most beautiful balloons I've ever seen. I think you'd find these videos to be colorful and fun and festive, and hearing about how the artisans have created these balloons is just incredible. So again, we'd encourage everybody to visit www.hudsonhotairaffair.com to be able to access those. And if you get a brochure, it'll give you the schedule of events, as will the website also. So thank you, Carla. Now we've got a couple of questions for Ruth. So Ruth, if you could give a little bit of an overview on one of the most iconic events during the Hot Air Affair on Saturday nights. We've always held the Moon Glow, or the Glow, and maybe tell us a little bit about how that is going to happen and what it's going to look like this year.
Well, we're still going to have a Moon Glow Field of Fire. Or candlestick. It's going to be a big different. It's going to be a drive-through event to be determined later. It'll be announced later on the location. With 4 or 5, 6, as many balloons as we have a space for to glow, and candlesticks, which is basically the baskets with the burners. We're going to do that. It's going to be a drive-through. We're going to ask people not to get out of their vehicles, just drive through slowly, and just be careful and look at the balloons if we have, weather dependent, if they're going to be up or not, but there'll be candlesticks for sure, weather dependent.
Okay, thanks very much, Ruth. You've done a lot of work with your committee with the logistics, and that's probably been the hardest job this year for pulling off this event. So to Ruth, thank you very much. Thanks for all the work.
And I thank everyone that's cooperated with us and trying to coordinate this with different vendors, different businesses, the city, everyone. I really appreciate that, and we're going to make it as safe as we can and go from there.
John, probably the one thing we want to emphasize too is, even though, we'll be not having the mass ascensions, we'll be having the pop-up balloons. Again, the same weather conditions will be required for the balloons to safely launch and fly.
Yep, nothing changes with hot air balloons. If the winds aloft are, I believe, more than 8 miles an hour or so, the balloons, it just isn't safe. And it isn't so much the flying. I hear that from a lot of people where, well, why can't they fly? Shouldn't the winds actually make it better for them to fly? Yes, that's true. But what it makes it extremely unsafe to do is land. And so the pilots are very careful about safety and the safety of the passengers. Now, this year, there will be no passengers in the balloons either. Is that correct, Carla?
That is correct, John.
So the balloonists will be taking off in the pop-up launches, as we've talked about. And I believe those the launches, along with information on the Moon Glow, will be available and accessible on the website as we come closer to the event.
That's correct.
So,
Our website, Facebook, Twitter, and we've added Instagram this year. So,
we're kind of really modern, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Taken many years,
Hey.
but we're finally getting there, John.
It's not true because you can teach old dogs new tricks then. So, President Michelle, I've got a couple of questions for you. If you could maybe talk about our primary corporate sponsor again this year, and if you want to mention a few of the other sponsors, great. And then maybe tell us, where can we get brochures?
Well, our corporate sponsor again is Wisconsin Credit Union. We love having them back with us. Some of our other sponsors are the local businesses around town. I can kind of breeze through a quick list of them. What you'll be able to do is you'll be able to find brochures of a lot of these businesses. We will be getting those out in the next coming weeks here. And so you'll be able to find a lot of our brochures at all of our sponsored businesses. So H Printing, Abigail Page, Angels Pet World, Art Doyle's, Carboni's in Burkhart, Sellers Wine and Spirits, Chapter 2 Books, Citizen State Bake, County Market. They are also a coupon sponsor. So if you pick up a brochure, they have a coupon in there, along with EJ's Pizzeria, Family Fresh in River Falls, the Hudson Bowling Center. I don't want to go through this whole list. There's a lot of them on here. It's the Postmark Grill, Purple Tree, Urban Olive and Vine, Valley Company. And then we also partner with a lot of businesses throughout town too. So you will probably be able to find a lot of our brochures at their businesses also.
Well, any of us with Hot Air Affair can tell the general public that the support from our local businesses is absolutely astounding, and we couldn't hold the event without it. So for all of our sponsors, which you can find on the website or in the brochures, thank you for financially supporting us, and then just the moral support of wanting to see the 32nd annual continue without a break. You know, we were able to hold the event last year before the pandemic really came in full force and with all the shutdown. So we can maybe end this segment by just going around. And again, we'll start with Michelle, then Carla, then Ruth. I would like to hear from you either your favorite memory from Hot Air Affair over the past 32 years, or what you like most about it, or what would you like to say? Your last shot with 30 seconds apiece or so on what's best about Hot Air Affair. Let's start with Michelle.
Oh, that's hard. 30 seconds to answer this? Well, I would say one of my most favorite things is the balloon launches in general. I just love being able to, not this year, but in the past years, being able to go up and talk to the pilots and see the balloons up close. You don't realize how big they are until you are standing underneath one and you're just barely, you're shorter than the basket itself once the basket's put together. So that is my absolute favorite part of this event. So I am glad we're still able to do it in another form.
Good. Thank you, Michelle. Carla, how about you?
Oh boy, I like the balloon launches too. I like the parade and the fireworks on Friday night, which are on pause for this year.
Carla?
Seeing the people on the launch field and the energy and the sounds of the balloon, the inflator fans, and then the propane burners going. Gonna miss a lot of that this year, but we'll bring it back next year.
Ruth, how about you?
Oh, there's so many things that are memorable about Hot Air Fair, but I'm with Michelle and Carla to watch the balloons fly up in the air and see other people's faces when they go, oh my gosh, look at that. It's so big. Look at that shape. Look at that. Look at that. And their eyes are just all over the place. And working with this committee over the years has been wonderful, dealing with the same sponsors over and over. And we appreciate all the help they've ever given us in this event. And like I said, there's so many things that, you know, we remember, but we just can't verbalize because they just run around in your head so fast. But thanks for asking, John.
Well, one thing I agree with all of you. There are so many things, it's hard to limit it. I like the themes that we picked. I like the ability to have fun in putting on costumes. But more than anything, I think I would say the most memorable thing in 32 years are the personal relationships of meeting the pilots. And I've been lucky enough to sponsor a pilot by the name of Larry Nicolay. He goes by the nickname of Bubba. Everybody knows him in the ballooning community as Bubba. And he's just a phenomenal guy. He's been tremendous for my old printing company to support, and now Catalyst, and the relationships with you committee folks. If we look here and we see Michelle as our current president is the daughter of the founder, Linda, it just shows you the generational ability we've got in 32 years of the great people that have been involved with Hot Air Affair. And Rose Akins, our first balloon pilot, man, I think we can all agree there are not many people like Rose Akins. She is a true firecracker. And I cannot confirm nor deny that everything she did was moral, legal, and ethical, but she sure brought a lot of fun to the event. So
Not only that,
my
John,
lasting memory is 32 years of thousands of people.
not only that, number of the pilots that we've had over the years, we now have family members of pilots that have been here for 30 years.
Yeah.
So that's really amazing too. And it's great to see how they grow and how we've grown or grown older doing this event in 30 years.
No question. Any any last thoughts from any of you three? Michelle?
Well, we just hope to see you in some form. Check out our Facebook page, leave us some great comments about our videos that we have up. And hopefully next year we'll see you more in person.
Terrific. Carla, how about you?
Yeah, this is going to be a great year. It's going to give us a break in the winter, and which is why we started the event. Give us a chance to get out and about and enjoy winter here in Wisconsin.
And Ruth, how about from the logistics crew?
It's been a challenge this year, but we can do it. Everything has been a challenge. We just want people to enjoy the event that they've enjoyed for 30 some years and to stay safe. And we're going to do our very, very, very best to do that this year.
Well, on behalf of President Michelle Webb, Carla Timmerman, Ruthie Peterson, Evie, Linda, and the whole crew, along with myself, John Knutson, pick up a brochure. You will be amazed at how many things that this committee has planned for this year. Or visit our website. It's the easiest way to find information on the Hot Air Affair. Once again, it's www.hudsonhotairaffair.com. And on behalf again of our committee here today, we thank you. Have a great day.